Hey friends, I'm gonna try to get my camera adjusted just slightly so that my head's not completely cut off in the video. I can still talk to y'all. Okay, I think that's good. I may have to move my door hanger around a little bit. See, further away from the camera is actually better in this case. So, happy Wednesday. Hey Lisa. I was just on a live with that you were watching too, painting Easter bunnies. So this is going right in that same theme, except we're going to be doing a wooden door hanger Easter bunny or Easter basket with a bunny. So anyway, I meant to bring the actual door hanger over here from the studio and I forgot. So instead I just have a picture of what we're painting today. So it's a cute Easter basket with a bunny butt coming out of it. Like he's diving into the Easter basket, getting all of the treats. Maybe he's hiding the treats in the Easter basket. I don't know. Anyway, welcome. Thank y'all for joining me. Ladies, like, it has been an emotional roller coaster of a day. I feel like I need a little bit of church right now. Can we just get real? Like, does anybody else feel like some days are heavier than others? And I was really excited to start painting because, man, today has been a heavy day. My heart's been heavy, and anyway, I was excited to be able to jump on and paint this afternoon because painting is such a stress reliever. So I'm going to get started with the base color of the Easter basket. Hello, Miss Debbie. Hello, Miss Christy. And I'm using a plate that I used yesterday for a live, so it has paint already on it. Just ignore that. But I'm painting, this is called Golden Brown, and I'm going to grab my biggest brush, and I'm going to paint, it's pretty much the whole background of the Easter basket. Now, these, I don't know if y'all have these brushes. I love them, but the handles are plastic, and they are hollow, and if they crack, it's the craziest thing. If they crack, they fill up with water, so you'll be painting, and all of a sudden, you'll just start dripping. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to start with this golden brown. Yes, Lisa, God is good all the time, and Christy and I were just having that conversation we're talking about, thank you, Debbie, for sharing. We're talking about parenting and how hard it is and how, like, we're trying to do the best for our kids, but we don't want to raise these entitled, emotional, I don't even know how to say it, but, like, anyway, it's hard. It's hard. And so I had somebody today tell me when I was very concerned about just that I'm not doing a good enough job with my daughter. Hey, Cindy. Oh yeah, hey Bridget, I'm glad you made it. But I had somebody tell me today when I was expressing the fact that I don't feel like I always do the best job ever with my kids, but I'm like, it's something I worry about a whole lot. And she said that, she goes, Kara, there's somebody that always tells me anytime I'm struggling, she always says, these kids are not yours. Hi Heidi, hi Robin. She said, which I thought this was maybe a word for someone besides just me today. Hey, Jennifer, thank y'all so much for jumping on. Hey, Robin. She said to me, she said, Kara, they're not your children. They were given to you to raise, but they're God's kids. And my first thought was, I'm not going to lie, my first thought was, oh, great. I am not just messing up my own kid, I'm messing up God's kid, which I know. Thank you, Cindy. I know that they're God's kids. Like, I know that in my heart, but we just feel this, oh my gosh, Debbie, I don't even think I can go there today. But we just feel this pressure to just do it right. And so when she said that, my first thought was, oh my gosh, like that puts a whole new pressure on it. But then I was reminded of that meme that has been going around Facebook for a while that says, if you feel like you've blown God's plan for your life, rest in this, my beautiful, that you are not that powerful. So this is totally not what I planned on talking about while I was painting today. But how awesome is it that we are not powerful enough to blow God's plan for our lives? And how relieving is it that we are not powerful enough to blow God's plan for their lives either? I don't know. So hopefully that's a word for someone today, because it was something I really needed to hear. And so anyway, I'm painting an Easter basket on a not so heavier note. And I'm painting, okay, so let me show you really quickly. This is different than the ones that I normally paint. Normally, they're just a big blank board. But I tried something, and it didn't go over so well in the studio. And so I'm actually painting this one to try to get rid of it, because they didn't like, I had them etched, where you can see the lines, and my customers did not like them. So I'm painting one of the ones that I had left over. So if you order a template for me, hey Christy, hey Connie, if you order a template for me, it's not going to have the etching, but you will have the big printout where you can put a piece of tracing paper like this. And you can buy this Amazon, probably Walmart. You can put tracing paper underneath the template, and you can trace the design onto your board. So that's normally how I do it, but I tried this, and like I said, it didn't go over really well. So we're gonna go back to the old way. But I'm painting the Easter basket, and right now I'm doing the background of the basket. So here's what it's gonna look like, which my big one was at the studio. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. So you can see I'm painting the light brown part right now. Hello, Jenny Beth from Kentucky. I think Christy's on here from Kentucky too. So, that's funny. You know, Debbie, it's funny that you say that, because I was not at the studio the night that these etched boards were revealed. I actually had them etched, because I was not going to be able to make it to a show, and I realized that I spend most of my time when I'm there, I'm drawing on people's boards. So I thought, you know, this will be problem solving. It'll be great, because then the people that are working the event that night, they aren't confident to draw on the boards. Here's 4 boys. Oh, Lisa, I'm sure you're not doing things wrong. It's just how you feel. It's just how you feel. That's what I'm realizing. It's just how I feel. But so I had these boards etched, and that, hey Jennifer, hey Wanda, that night after the event, I was getting feedback from the ladies who worked it. And it was my very first time to not be at one of Kinsley's Creative Palettes paint parties. And so, I mean, it was like this huge step for me to take away. And they told me how much the people didn't like the etched boards. And I thought, man, like, I thought that was going to be a huge hit. And they said they really wanted to be able to freehand them. And I said to them, why didn't they flip them over and paint the other side? I'm not going to lie. None of them thought of it. I'm like, come on, how do we have a room full of intelligent women and nobody thought to flip the board over? Maybe they did, and maybe they were already so far in painting that they didn't want to flip it over, but I thought it was really funny. Like, to me, that was a logical step, was, we'll just flip it over. But anyway, it was kind of funny, because I don't always use common sense. Oldest is 11. Oh, Bridget, I have no advice. Like, I'm over here struggling with, my oldest is 11. I have a girl and a boy. And I'm over here struggling with feeling very inadequate at this whole parenting thing, and wondering, like, how in the world am I not going to mess this child up? So I've got no advice, but I do have a lot of prayers, and I'll pray for you and your kids too, because I really think that's the best thing that we can do, is give it to God and just do the best we can with these gifts that He's given us for a short time to raise. So I don't know. Hopefully that helps somebody today, because I feel like I was very transparent with all of the craziness in my head today, but I just really felt like somebody else needed to hear that too. So I have this Easter basket, which was one of my favorite designs from last year, and I haven't painted it since then, so I was really excited to pick up the paintbrush and paint it again. And I'm trying to get all of the little areas. This is when I should probably switch to a smaller brush, but because I already have paint on this one, I'm just going to keep painting with it. I'm getting my corners, or my edges. This particular board, oh, Cindy, that's awesome. And you're welcome, Bridget. This board is not lasered. Most of mine are laser cut, but I've started ordering some of mine, and they cut with the CNC router. So this one's not laser cut. So you do have to make sure to paint the sides because they're not sealed. All right. So I've got that base coat on. Thank you, Jennifer. Well, I feel like we have this Facebook image, you know, like that we try to uphold, and where I tend to be very sarcastic and I feel like very transparent on my page. A lot of times, like the pictures I share, or like today when they were in their cute little Easter outfits when they were little bitty, and they were probably throwing a temper tantrum right before that picture, but they looked precious whenever they took the picture. So yeah. So if anybody would like to paint this along with me, this video will be posted after I'm done live. It will actually be posted on the page, and so you can come back to it. There are templates where you can print the template and put the pages together and then draw them onto your board. Those are in my Kinsley'sCreativePalette.com shop on my website. And then there's also the blanks if you want to paint along with me. Now, the blanks will not be etched, but you will have the block poster so that you can use your tracing paper. So I'm going to switch to white now and paint the bunny butt. That's my favorite part of this sign, is the bunny butt, because he's just so darn cute. So if you're just joining us, this is what we're painting. Painting a big Easter basket wooden door hanger. And I'm just going to paint the whole bunny butt area. Are the templates drawn on? Lisa, so if you get the template, it's a block poster that you cut out, or you tape together and then cut out and you trace onto your board, but it will have the design where you can lay your carbon paper underneath it. It'll have a design on it so that you can trace that on. Is that what you were asking? Maybe. So, for example, this one, actually, when I first found the design that I wanted, the Easter eggs went all the way down here, and it was kind of a, oh gosh, I don't know. The basket looked open in the front. I don't know how to exactly describe that. But I simplified, yes, okay, perfect. I simplified it, and I drew the line straight across so that I wouldn't have to do the Easter eggs all down here, and I could have more room for the basket part of it, so that I also, if I wanted to letter across it, I would have room. So yes, Lisa, I simplified it. The one that is online is a little bit more detailed, but all you have to do for that one is get your ruler and draw a line straight across, and then just don't draw the Easter eggs down here. Everything else is the same. And that template comes in 2 sizes. Some of them come in more than 2 sizes, but for that one I just did the 22-inch Easter basket and then the 11-inch Easter basket. I don't know if y'all were on live with me a couple weeks ago, but it was really funny because my puppies were barking. It was like they started barking and they wouldn't quit. So I was so thankful. I was scheduled to go live today, and I was so thankful that the weather was nice and that the mowers had already left today so that my dogs could go outside. I felt so bad the last time. I was like, oh, I just want to go get him and hug him and love on him, but I was working. Can't just sit around and love on puppies all day, even though that would be a heck of a job. Hello, Linda. How are you doing this afternoon? So this is just plain white, and I'm getting in the etched cracks right here. Let's see. And then trying to look, this is gonna have, thank you, Heidi. This is gonna have grass, but I went ahead and painted it white. Let me show you where we're at. All right, this is where we're at so far. And let's see. Thank you, Tiffany. That's really sweet. I love all the hearts. All right, so I'm going to paint the rest of this white, and then we're going to move on to our first coat on our Easter eggs and those other components. So we've got 1, 2, there's actually another Easter egg right here. Hi for 2 minutes. There's an Easter egg over here, and then there's a carrot over here. Linda, are you working today? Is that why you're only on for 2 minutes? Okay, so I just I went over onto my brown, so I'm gonna fix that really quickly before I move on. Just gonna grab some brown paint. This brush got funky. And cover that up. Okay. There we go. Alright, so I roughly painted the Easter bunny. I went outside of the lines, but that's okay because it's just white. And I'm going to start painting my Easter eggs. Let me get the rest of this paint off this brush. Just fill in some of this area that you can still see the board through. Really with that brown, because we're going to cover up the tan with a darker brown, it doesn't have to be 100%. Oh, you like that? Thank you. It doesn't have to be 100%, what do you call it, opaque. It can be a little bit transparent because you're not going to notice that once you start putting the details on the basket. And thank you, Heidi. It's a shower curtain. It's 2 of them put together because I was trying to find something that I could move, like, because the room looks incredibly small whenever I'm set up to record. So I can push that away, and then it just like makes the room feel so much bigger again. So I needed something mobile, something easy. All right, so I'm gonna switch to pink. I'm gonna do pink first. Anyone want to guess why I'm doing pink first? And while y'all are guessing, hopefully you'll guess, I've got several colors here that I pulled out, but I really store my paint in this rolly cart. And what I did was I pulled one of the top drawers out so that my paint could stand up, and they're all turned upside down so I can see the colors of them. And this thing holds a ton of paint. So if you're looking for an easy craft storage idea, I highly recommend that. And then, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, as far as, I get this question a lot, and I'll go ahead and answer it just in case somebody jumps on and they have the question, but they don't want to ask. How do you wash your brushes? How do you take care of your brushes? Just water. If you ever get to where they're a little bit more disgusting, you can add some Dawn dish soap. And Deco Art also makes a brush cleaner that I've found if someone accidentally leaves, like a lot of times at the end of the night when I'm done at the studio and I'm grabbing all of the paintbrushes to wash, I won't realize that someone has put a used paintbrush in with the ones that were already clean. And they'll do it upside down, so I don't see it. And so if you even if you feel like that brush is ruined, that solution from DecoArt is really awesome. You can set that brush in there and let it sit for a little while and come back, and it's like you didn't even have dried paint in it. It's pretty awesome. So shout out to DecoArt for that brush cleaner, which is amazing. All right, so I've got my Easter basket. I'm going to show y'all where I'm at. I'm painting the egg pink. I'm getting my edges too. Hello, Alicia. Welcome. Okay. And I'm going to do purple. So, yeah, I'm going to do a purple. I'm going to do the purple up top though. Now I'm just using the same brush. I just keep putting it in the water and washing it. To reuse my brush immediately, I use the microfiber towels, and to keep my bristles so that they're formed, they're straight, I go back and forth while I'm squeezing the water out. Why'd I do the pink first? Because pink's my favorite color. Oh my goodness, pink is my favorite color. So no one guessed. But yes, pink is my favorite color. I joke with my children that I bleed pink, and not just any color pink, like I bleed magenta, just so you know. I love some pink. If I wasn't, edge. Oh, you're right. I do need more, don't I? Thank you. Couldn't see that. I will switch back when I put the second coat on, and I'll get that edge. Thank you for noticing. Hello, friends. Oh, I don't know what I was saying. I forgot already. My baby girl is going to come pounding through the door here before too long, so you'll get to see one of my prides and joy before the day is over. The weather has been, oh, my least favorite color? Let me think about that. Brown. I don't like brown. Is brown a color? Brown's not my color. Really any other color I like. The weather here has been so beautiful the last few days that we have been outside, and it has been so nice. But here's the crazy thing. Okay, guys, I'm just going to say, I'm not very tall by any standard. I'm probably considered way short. I am 5'1", and my kids, well, my husband is 6'3". So to say that my kids are probably going to outgrow me is a drastic understatement. They're going to for sure outgrow me. You aren't? Yeah. They're going to for sure outgrow me here before too long. But lately, I feel like they're like up to here already. And so yesterday, we're outside, and my little guy he's not really a basketball player. Like, he plays football and wrestling. But during the times that he's not playing football and wrestling, he's shooting baskets all the time. So when we're outside, he wants to shoot baskets and play pig or horse, which we play pig a lot. So anyway, last night, we're outside playing pig and riding bikes, and I got my bike out of the shed, and my daughter and my son could ride it. Like, it's a grown-up bike. I kept thinking, like, they're still kids. Like, it's not going to fit you. Don't try. I don't want you to hurt yourselves. And they're, like, riding it up and down the driveway. And I thought, gosh, like, when did they get so big? But it happened, I'm going to say it happened overnight. What is pig? Like horse, where you shoot. And if I make it, they have to shoot from the same place. Christy, do you not play horse or pig? Pig is just quicker because it's less letters. So a lot of times he'll get me to play 2 games of pig, where he would only get me to play 1 game of horse. And so he looks at that like a win, because that's 1 extra basket. So just a little bit extra time. You know, all kids really wants our time. Yes, it is easy that it's only 3 letters, but we never just play one game. And it's really funny. So the other day, I'll tell y'all all my secrets, all my embarrassing stories. So the other day, Reddick and I were playing. That's my son's name, Reddick. And he won the first game. And so I said, hey, buddy, why don't we play one more? And I wanted it to be granny shots. Like, you couldn't do anything except granny shots. So we were playing this granny shot game. And it was really funny because he said, Mom, I tell you what, if you beat me at a granny shot game, then I will not call you a pig, even though I won the first game. And so it was really funny because I won the granny shot game. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. He was even making fun of me because I had on jeans and I would have to like hike my jeans up before I could like lean down to throw the ball. So he would ask me silly stuff like, do I have to make that silly wiggle pulling my pants up before I can shoot the basket too? And I told him yes, because I mean, just should be. But yeah, so we come in the other night and Reddick says, Mom beat me at granny shots, and I told my husband that he wasn't allowed to call me a pig. And Reddick thought that was hilarious because who gets to call their mom a pig and get away with it? But he didn't that night because I won the granny shot game. All right, so enough about basketball. Yeah, so my kids are big enough to ride my bike, and that was really devastating yesterday because I didn't really think that they would be at this age and already be as big as their mother, but they are as big as their mother already. Okay, I'm going to switch to all the rest of the eggs that I have to paint, but up against something else. Let me show you where we're at. So I'm going to have to switch to a smaller brush. Smaller area, smaller brush. Okay. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to do this one first, and I'm going to do it yellow. I'm going to switch to this smaller brush here. If you're just joining me, welcome. Let me check something really quickly. Can you hear me? Yellow for the next egg color, yes. I had someone tell me, they just texted me and said that they can't hear me. Can you hear me? So let me know. Yes, 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 yes. Alicia, I don't know. They said they could hear me. I'm gonna move that out of the way. I had somebody else yesterday after I went live say that she was having trouble hearing me too. So I don't know. But I do barely. Okay, Connie says she can barely hear me. It's low. I don't know how to fix that. Does anybody else know how I could fix that? Very low. Okay, so I've got part of y'all saying I hear you just fine, and part of you say very low. So I don't know. I know before I went live, though, I did turn the volume on my iPad all the way up. I think I need a mic. I can't do that right now. It would be a good thought, though. I don't think I have a mic for my iPad. All right, friends. Well, we're going to hope that everybody can hear enough that they could paint the Easter basket if they wanted to. All right, so I'm painting yellow. It's my next egg. And then I need 2 more colors. I don't know what colors. I'm trying to look. Oh, I painted 2 yellow on my first one, and I also painted a blue egg. So maybe I'll do that. Let's have to upgrade to a mic one day. Me or you? I am going to have to upgrade to a mic. I have one for my computer. I have one for my computer, but I don't think it'll work on my iPad, so I'll have to look at that. Okay, guys, if you don't know, Linda Patterson that's on here is my grandmother, and she just told me to talk like I'm talking to the kids. Yeah, I can do that. I'll try not to be mean. You know, when they're fighting, get in here! Quit talking like that! I can talk like that, but it'd probably scare y'all away. Probably, just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna paint this egg up here. Let me move this so you can see. I'm painting this egg up here yellow. So I've got 2 yellow eggs, but I did them opposite each other. And then I have a purple, a pink, and then lastly I'm gonna do, oh, can't get that to fit. I'm gonna do a turquoise egg. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, so another trick, if you are like me and you always have new bottles of paint and you hate trying to open them, if you will pretend like you're tightening the bottle and just work that piece right off, you don't have to use your teeth. Your dentist will thank me. Okay, so we're gonna do this next. I feel like I'm really behind because this one has a lot of different colors and stuff to do, so it takes a while. Okay, I put way too much paint on my plate. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna paint this egg blue. Trying to get these edges. You see that? So what's everybody doing creative lately? Anybody have projects going? If you're like me, you might have projects going that have been going for a while. Because being a creative, I tend to jump from one to another. Oh, okay. So I've got my blue egg. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a second coat on these other colors. So I need my yellow. Ooh, Apple Barrel gives the hardest time. Thanks for that. You're welcome, Bridget. Glad I could help. Okay, so switch brushes. And you know, I've come to really love Apple Barrel paint. I don't use it all the time, but I've started switching a lot of my colors over to Apple Barrel. Why is that hard to say? All right, so I think it was Bridget that told me I missed the edge. So I'm going to get this edge. I'm going to put a little bit more paint on here. Need more paint. Has everybody already had spring break? We live in Ohio, way up in the north. I feel like it's way up in the north anyway. And our spring break is next week. Things all door hangers too. Oh, I'd love to see what you designed. Some more pigment. Bridget, do you feel like they have more pigment? Because I was at a conference a few weeks ago, and someone said that Apple Barrel Red was one of the best reds, which I don't know if y'all realize it, but red and yellow and orange are 3 of the hardest colors to cover because they're so transparent, which this orange worked really well. This is it's a Michaels brand color orange that I'm using right now. Uh-oh. My puppies are barking. Yes. I will say in regards to sound, a lot of times, oh, you know what? I heard that too. Okay, thank you. I heard that the gloss are better with pigment too. Um, but in regards to sound, it's funny because I recorded a virtual paint party one day, and it was quiet in my house, and I was just in one of those like really quiet moods that day, and so I whispered through the whole thing. And my mother, when she was trying to paint, she's like, "I can't hear you." I'm like, "I'm sorry, it was so relaxing and I was painting that I didn't talk really loud." So I get accused of not being loud enough sometimes, but not in person. I'm always loud enough in person, I feel like. I caught y'all all right in the middle of the workday. A little bit more yellow up here. And I'm going to leave alone. All right, now I'm going to switch to purple. And then we're going to start adding our, oh, then I need to do the white, and then we're going to start adding our accents. Also, there's your transparent. Yes, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. And when I ran out of paint the other day at the studio, I drove my car to Walmart instead of Hobby Lobby, and I bought a whole bunch of apple barrel paint because I've found that to be true too. So yes. There are certain colors though that they don't have that I wish they did, but okay. So I've got my purple. Now let's switch to the white. Paint the bunny butt one more time. Let's see. Where did I put the white? Oh, over here. This is so cute. I love this design. So cute. Is Easter this Sunday? I think it is. For some reason, I think it is. Maybe not. Maybe it's later in the month. Nope. I just realized as I'm painting this that I missed an Easter egg. And it's like a partial Easter egg. So I'm going to have to go back and paint that. All right, so new topic. What does everyone like to read, or do you not like to read? Because I do like to read when I have time. That's kind of what I do. Where I used to craft to relax, now I tend to read because now I craft for a living. So I tend to read. A little over 2 years. Oh, sweet! I have one more week. That's good to know. That is really good to know. Thank you so much. All right, so that's all done. You asked me how long I've been painting door hangers. A little over 2 years. I painted my first door hanger right before we moved to Ohio, and we moved to Ohio December was 2 years. Okay, what was I going to do next? Oh, I need to figure out what color I want to paint that Easter egg. We're going to do pink. I don't know why I would do pink, because I love it. All right, so I'm going to switch to a smaller brush because it's a smaller area. Hello, Yvonne. Hope you're doing well this afternoon. Her oldest just went to prom this weekend. Prom, oh my gosh, like, can't even imagine. That sweet baby was a baby when I got married. Okay, so let's see. It's an update on the hearing situation. Let's see. She was telling me that one of my friends is watching live and she's texting me. And she was telling me when Easter was. I have gotten into, it's been a few months ago, I got asked if I would volunteer to run a shift. There you go. That's how I want to say it. At the book fair for the middle school. And, oh, hey, you're in Coshocton. I need to drive down there and visit y'all's Wits because I like it better than ours. It's much better than ours. Story style books, whatever, I'm going through books. So I got asked to be there for Hey Tiffany for a shift at the book fair for the middle school. And while I was there were a lot of history, like, what do you call them? The historical fiction, is that what they'd be called? Books. And I brought some home. One of the teachers there her husband and my husband worked together. And I was telling her, like, there were certain ones I wanted to read. And she goes, well, I have all those in my classroom. And so I ended up borrowing a bunch of books from her. And I have been stuck on historical fiction since then. And I mean, I can't even tell you how many Holocaust books I've read lately. Normally, though, I read Amish Christian fiction, which I just love their way of life. It's not something I feel like I could ever do. My daughter says she could do it, but she also can't go without her electronics, so I'm not sure how she's going to do that. But all right, so we're going to start working right now on some of the accents, and the first accent I'm going to work on is the one that's most labor intensive, and that is all of the basket weaving. So the way that we're going to do that, I'm going to use the same brush to do the horizontal and the vertical strokes. Just got it good and dry. And I'm just going to pick somewhere to start. I'm going to start right along the bottom. So I'm going to do approximately 1.5 inch lines across with a space in between. I'll show y'all what that looks like so you can see. All right, so that's how we start. Then we're going to take our brush and I'm going to use it on the side, like straight up and down, and I'm just going to do a line between each one of those. Hard to do holding my board up, but see how there's just a line between those? And then it's going to be kind of like a brick pattern where you alternate. So if I had, let's see, so I can show you what that looks like. And you can go quick, you don't have to overthink it. Nobody's going to critique your wicker basket. Show you what that second row is going to look like. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said alternate. So your next ones will go, they'll like join the two together. I don't know how to say that. They'll sit on top of the other one but in the middle, like a brick pattern. So I'm going to just do that. I'm going to just keep going. And you can go back and do all of your horizontal strokes at once if you want to. You don't have to do each line. Like you could do all of your vertical, you do all your horizontal and then go back and do all your vertical. And that's easier for some people. So whatever makes it easier and more relaxing for you is what I want you to do. And this goes pretty quickly. Thank you. This is one of my favorites, but normally I paint them once and I don't paint them again unless I'm helping someone in the studio. And so instead of doing something new, I thought I would bring back one of my favorites today. I like to watch other people paint too. I think it's just part of enjoying painting. Like, you learn so much from other people, and their personalities really do come out in their paintings. Like, I'm sure not everybody would pick these colors for their eggs, but for me, spring says bright and cheerful. For some people, it's muted colors. And so it's always fun. It's always fun to see. Now I am making these lines, the pull lines across as straight as I can, but I'm not using a ruler or anything else to help me. I'm just eyeballing it, because if I were to get out my ruler right now, I would get all perfectionist about it and it would take all the fun out of this. So, I'm not doing it. Hope y'all understand. I hope you understand. Okay. Now, what I do is I go all the way across before I start on the next line, unless it's an area like this where, see how the egg kind of broke it? So I brought this line all the way across, and then I'm going to go down and I'm going to fill that in. And there were a couple areas, I don't know if you saw, where I just drew brought my finger across the board to get some paint off, where I painted where I didn't need to paint. So I just used my finger and wiped it off before the color set in. Alright, so I'm going back and I'm adding my lines. So I'm just using my brush. Instead of this way, I'm doing it up and down now. And you can switch to a smaller brush if you want, but this doesn't need to be perfect. There just needs to be a little line there. That's right. So it's funny, I was watching my friend Heidi last night live, and she, I feel like, has so much energy when she's live. And a lot of times I'm like, oh, it's just relaxing because I'm just painting, which, running a business, you don't get to spend, I feel like, much of your time, or I don't get to spend much of my time painting, because I'm not selling finished products. I'm selling the experience of coming to paint it yourself. So I'm doing more of the cutting of the wood and the social media advertising and all of that. And so To me, this is like the most relaxing time for me because I don't feel like I'm really working. Instead, I'm just playing. So, but it was funny because when I was watching her, I'm like, man, she has a lot of energy when she paints. I don't have that much energy when I paint. All right, I'm going to get a little bit more brown. Y'all have gotten quiet on me. How many of you are night owls and how many do better in the daytime? Because I'm just going to tell you, being honest right here. Can we be honest in this space? I am a daytime person. By about 9 o'clock at night, I'm done. Like, done. And I think it's really funny when I first opened the paint studio and I was going to be doing the parties in the evenings. I started them at like 6:30. And as time went on, I realized that my clientele, a lot of them were older than me, and a lot of them were like me in that they do better during the day. And so I switched from 6:30 to start my parties at 5. And I thought it was really funny that attendance went up. But I was like, oh, that's awesome, because then whenever the party's ending, like, that's when I'm ready for bed. I'm ready to be done for the day. And so I was forcing myself to stay up past my peak, past when I'm at my best, and I don't have to do that anymore. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, so let me show you where I'm getting to. I'm getting brown all over me. So I'm gonna stop one row away from the line on the basket. So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna keep going across, but this will be, hey Tamra, and this will be my last row of wicker for my basket. So I'm just gonna get this last little bit on there, and then I'll show you what's next. Let's see. We are painting an Easter basket today. And this one has lots of, I'm going to call them moving parts. Lots of stuff going on. We've got eggs and a carrot and the wicker from the basket. There's lots of fun stuff to paint. So if we don't have a blank, how can we paint this on canvas? Well, I sell the blanks on my website, but I also sell the templates. And one of the templates is about the size of a sheet of paper. So it's not quite as big because I have to leave a border in order for some printers to be able to print the whole thing. So in that case, if you wanted to do a small version of this on canvas, you could purchase the template and then use the small 8.5 by 11, print it off on your home printer, and then you could just use transfer paper underneath your printout to transfer it onto your canvas. Does that help? Hopefully that's helpful. But if you want to paint a wooden door hanger, I do have those for sale on my website. And I also do a virtual paint party where you paint a new door hanger with me each month, and that gets mailed straight to your house. and you log on to watch a video whenever is convenient, whether you're a night owl or a daytime person, and you can paint at your own convenience. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm going to start doing some of the accents around my handle. This is going to be a little bit harder to show you. I'm only going to be able to show you on this side. So I'm going to turn my brush. And just, I'm kind of doing little swooshes, and I'm making the handle pattern, almost like it was wrapped around. Okay, and if you wanted to find out more information about any of those things, it's all on the website, Kinsley'sCreativePalette.com. And there's a link for the virtual paint party, and there's also a link for shopping, so you can either shop for the templates or the door hanger blanks. Okay, so I've got those on. Now I need to work on the, I'm going to draw a line right here with my brush sideways. I'm located in Ohio, and I'm going to actually make the basket weave look. I need to switch brushes. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. But I'm going to just kind of curve this, make some curves so it looks like the basket's going like this. But I'm going to switch brushes. Let me show you what I've done so far. Where is that brush? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I am located in Ohio, but I ship all over the place. And I paint with people all over the place. Alright, so that's where we're at. I do need to go back and put my lines between my basket weave, and I'm working on the piece that comes across here. So that's where I'm at. I'm just still working with my brown. Is this a door hanger? Hey Terry, it is a door hanger. Let me show you. I only have a picture of the finished one because it's at the studio, but this is what we're painting today. It is a big Easter basket with a bunny butt coming out the back. He's like diving in the Easter basket. We've got eggs and a carrot. And if you want to paint this, I've got the template on my website, and I also sell the wooden door hanger not painted on my website so that you can pull the video back up and paint along with me. So welcome. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. I'm just going back and I'm adding the little vertical lines between my basket weave. Need more brown paint. This one is not hard to paint at all. It's just a lot of different details. Well, hello, Miss Debbie. So I don't know how Facebook randomly picks to tell me who's online and how they pick who not to tell me. But if I ever call your name and you haven't commented, it's because Facebook told me you just came on. Hello, Paula. But Facebook doesn't tell me when everybody comes on, so I don't know how they pick and choose who they're gonna tell. And anyway, it's kind of random. But we are painting an Easter basket wooden door hanger, and this will be cute, hanging on your door all spring long. Okay, quick scan and see if I missed any of my lines. Okay, I'm going to do the basket weave across the top. 2 lines, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then I'm just going to do some curved, almost like backward C shapes to make it look like the basket was woven across there. Guys, this does not look perfect up front, up close, but no one is going to notice on your door if there are little imperfections. And did I mention how relaxing it is to paint? That's awesome. I had a conversation with my kids not too long ago because I would get up on Saturday mornings, and I'm in a paint on canvas group, and I would get up on Saturday mornings and I would start painting, but I would do the paint on canvas stuff. And my kids were like, "Mom, you're always working." And I tried to tell them, I was like, when you love what you do, and I also do it as a hobby. So I join these other groups so that I can paint different things and get different ideas from other people. But not every time I pick up a paintbrush am I working. So I thought it was really funny because they did not like that. They felt like I was working all the time. All right, so that part's done. We're going to do what next? Let me add some more pink to that Easter egg that I painted last because it's not quite opaque yet. And then we're getting close to done. Anybody else store their paint upside down? All right. Okay, I got that done. I'm going to put another coat on the blue, and that's the only other one I need to go back over. How's the weather where everyone is? Is it nice? It's, let me look at the weather. Let me see what it is today. Let's see. It's 59 right now. The high today is 60. And the low today was 43. But the sun is shining and it is beautiful. Okay, I think that is good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some gray. Oh. Now when we paint, we kind of paint in layers. So it's 80 in Alabama. I do not envy that because if it's 80 right now in Alabama, oh, wait, third row down. Oh, woman, you are all over it today. Bridget's all over it. Ooh, a bad sandstorm. Can't see who all is commenting. Let me fix this spot. Yeah, because if it's 80 today, that means that this is just the start and it's going to get really hot. And I don't like it really hot. Even though my husband's from Alabama and he says that we need to move back to the south. Okay, she saw it. Oh, there it is. 90s in Central Texas, 90s in Dallas. Oh no, you got it. You were right, Bridget. You were right. I fixed it. Okay, so gray is up next. Oh man, so our AC's out in our bedroom. Don't laugh at me. I called yesterday to have a service call put in because I'm a brat. I'm such a brat. I'm going to hear this. Blizzard in South Dakota. Oh my goodness. 30 degrees. Last year, right before winter, our AC went out up there. And we have a separate unit upstairs. So I called the lady and she goes, well, honey, it's not going to be, you're not going to need the AC anymore this year. Like, it's going to be getting cold. And yeah, it is too early. You're right. And I said, well, I hear you, but I'm worried about next year. And she said, well, what I'm worried about is, do you have heat? I said, well, I would think I have heat, but I can handle the cold. I'm okay if it's a little bit cold in here, but I can't handle it if I'm hot. So she was so stinking sweet. She sent somebody out to check my heat pump to make sure that because we lost AC that we weren't going to lose heat as well, because she was afraid that my family was going to freeze. So I thought it was the funniest thing, because I'm like, I couldn't care less about how hot it is or how cold it is. I don't want it to be hot. And she's like, honey, I need to make sure y'all aren't going to freeze in there. So I told her at that point, I said, I'm just telling you, I'm going to be first on your list next year whenever it's time for AC calls. So I called her yesterday and I left her a message, and I didn't hear from her today, but I'm guessing it's because it was only 60 here today. And she's like, woman, it's not time. But I wanted to be first on her list because I sleep with 2 fans on even in the wintertime. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I am outlining the bunny feet and the bunny body so that you can see. Awesome. Well, enjoy your grandson this afternoon and hop back on later. Thank you for joining. So I'm outlining the bunny so that you can see him after he's in the grass. Now, for his little cottontail, let me show y'all. For his little cottontail, if you can see, I'm just gonna kind of do, let me show you what it looks like on here, because I don't know how to describe it. I don't know, it kind of looks like a cartoon tail. So, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna randomly draw in, and it won't look just like that either, because there's no real template that I'm following. Yes, that's right. Deidre's right. She says they can't properly diagnose if it's not warm enough. So thank you, Beverly. So, but I wanted to make sure that as soon as she has a day where it's going to be warm enough, that she had me on her list. So she probably thinks that woman over there on Richie, she's ridiculous. But I am a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so Cindy asked what kind of brushes I use. I have a whole bunch of different brushes. I mean, like, seriously, way too many brushes. But my favorite brushes are these that have the triangular handle, and they're actually like children's art brushes. And they sell them at Walmart, and then I also sell them in my shop. And if you are a virtual painter with me, you get the option of purchasing a set of brushes and paint with your first month's membership. So you can order them straight from me. Now the other brushes I really like are these. And that's because they're really big and they cover a lot of area. And they have plastic handles. So I love the plastic handles because I tend to leave my brushes sitting in water long after I've used them, until I need to use them again, and then I wash them, because, yeah, I don't know, shouldn't do that. Okay, so I'm going to wash this brush again, and I'm going to get a little bit more white, and I'm going to do some accents on the Easter basket and on the eggs. Let's see, and then I need, trying to see, I'm going to use, I think I'll use the light brown mixed with a little bit of orange to add some accents on the carrot. So orange, and I'll just dip in here with my light brown. I'm gonna get a small brush. This one is small and stiff, which I don't want it to have too much give, because then I don't have a lot of control over my brush. So I'm dipping in the light brown and in the orange, and I'm just kind of mixing them right here on my plate. And I'm just going to draw some lines on the carrot. Need to go a little bit darker. There we go. The good news is you can always go darker and add more color if you need to. So I know it's hard for y'all to see. Let me lift it up and show you. But I'm just adding some lines on the carrot. Kind of like the, before you, what do you call it? Before you peel the carrot, how it has that texture. I'm just adding a little bit of that. So, funny story, yesterday, my daughter and I ran to Walmart right after school, and we were looking for something in particular, and we didn't find it. But before we left, she is part bunny, I swear. Like, she eats more carrots than anyone that I know. And so right before we were leaving Walmart, she's like, "Oh, Mom, we're out of carrots. I need to go buy carrots." So I take her over to the produce section, and she picks up the carrots that you have to peel, and I never get those kind. And I told her, I was like, "Honey, you're going to have to peel those." She's like, "I don't care." Well, I made her get some of the baby carrots, too, because I knew she was going to want the instant gratification of opening them in the car and eating them, because she can't see carrots and not start eating them. But we had a funny conversation about where do baby carrots come from. Anybody want to answer me? Because I don't really know. Where do baby carrots come from? Okay, so I had my theory, though, but you can't guess what that was. All right, so here's where we're at. I'm adding just some accents to my Easter basket handle. And I'm also going to use this same white and the same little brush. And I'm going to add accents to the carrot and my eggs. So if you add a little bit of an accent to your eggs, they almost give it the, what do you call it? Almost dimension, so that they actually look like maybe the sun hit them and that they're rounded. Mommy and Daddy carrots, Terry? That was not what I said. I told her, this is terrible. This is so terrible. I can't believe I'm even saying this. I told her that the bunnies eat the big carrots, and that was what was left over afterwards. Like, they pooped out the baby carrots. She goes, "Mom, if that was the case, I would not be eating these." I said, "Okay, well, I'm just telling you, that's where I think they come from, because, I mean, where do we get baby carrots?" You're right, from Mommy and Daddy carrots. All right, I'm turning my board so that I can paint the rest of the handle. And this is, they're too long. Well, I'm glad to know. You are just a source of information. I love it. All right, so Deidre says they come from the big carrots that are too wonky to sell. Well, they're sweeter, though, I feel like, than the big carrots. But I don't know why that would be. Is it a certain kind of big carrots that they come from? I'm seriously asking, because I don't know. And apparently they don't come from... apparently they don't come from bunnies after they eat the big carrots. Terry says, aren't they truly hybrid grown to be smaller? I am not sure. Yeah, that's not very romantic, but neither is my theory. So yours is probably better than mine. All right, let me show you where we're at. We still have a little bit to do. You Googled it. So, Deidre, you're right. You Googled it. All right, here's where we're at. Here's what we've got to do. I'm going to get a lighter pink and mix with my darker pink. And we're going to come up with another pink to use on the bunny feet. So, light pink. What time is it? 3:11. Light pink, dark pink, and then I use the back of a small paintbrush to mix my paint colors. So just mix those up, and I'm just trying to come up with a color between those two colors so that it doesn't compete with that pink egg that's sitting right next to the bunny. Oh, that looks pretty. Okay. So inside of the feet, I guess that's, yeah, the bottom of the feet. We're just going to kind of follow that line and paint some pink in here. Can you see that? I hope so. And this does not have to be perfect. This is what it looks like on the inside. And then I'm going to do 3 little dots underneath that, like the little toes, my toes. Now, to do these little dots, I've got a small paintbrush, and I'm literally just spinning my paintbrush on the board. I'll show y'all. That's my favorite way to make dots. So I'm just going to do 3 of those. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here on the bottom of his other foot. I'm calling it a him, but little girls like to jump in Easter baskets too, don't they? There's not just boy bunnies. Okay, 1, 2. Do I hold my mouth weird when I make polka dots? Well, hello, Sissy from My Backdoor Creations in Midland, Texas. It's probably hot where you are too, isn't it? We were talking about the weather here just a few minutes ago. It's beautiful here and 60 degrees, which is amazing. But I'm from the South. Beverly, what did I just ask? No. What was the answer no to? I don't know. There was a delay, so I already forgot. All right, so we now have the bunny feet done. We still have to do, the grass. Okay, so while the bunny feet are drying, I'm gonna get a couple different shades of green. I'm gonna get, no, I don't want this green. Well, one's holiday and one's festive, so I guess it's my, oh, I don't hold my mouth funny. Thank you, Beverly. It's like with your mascara. Like, do you hold your mouth open? I don't know. Anyway, thank you, thank you. Oh, Sissy, in the 90s. Honey, I feel for you. If you need a vacation and you want to come up north, come to Ohio where the weather's beautiful. And yeah, I'm from the South, but I still like it up here. Don't tell my husband, though, because he would be disappointed. I think I need to move to the north. I'm not made for warm weather either. We went, so we've lived in lots of places, but one of the places we've lived is Savannah, Georgia. And we went back down there this past summer. Well, hello from California, Miss Tammy. But we went down there this summer to check on, we have a rental house, not because we want a rental house, but because we were never able to sell our house. And I told my husband when we were down there, I was like, I am not made for this weather anymore. And the look on his face, like, you would have thought I broke his heart, because the thought of us living in the north for the rest of our lives, like, kills him. It absolutely kills him. So, I am originally from Texas. My husband's from Alabama. I have one baby that was born in Georgia, one that was born in Florida. So we've just kind of migrated. We lived in Tennessee for 5 years, in Chattanooga. So we've just kind of migrated north for his work. And I don't know. This is where we've landed. Okay, so let me show you. I have never been to California, so that is something I would really love to do. You're from Louisiana? And yeah, I agree. The humidity is terrible. I'm from the Houston area, and it's terrible. 38 with snow on the ground in New Hampshire. Okay, I don't want to go that far north. All right, so I'm adding grass, and in order to, let me get up here. In order to do that, this is hard to do from this angle, but you just set your brush down and then pull up, and you just go, you get lighter as you go up. So you're almost like lifting it off of your board. And this can take practice. So I would suggest that you maybe practice on, like, I've got this, these boards down on my table. And a lot of times if I am doing a new technique, I'll practice it on there before I actually do it on my wood. But I'm doing lime green first. And then I'm going to switch to this, like, oh gosh, like a Kelly green. And, oh, you're in Mississippi. Lord bless you. But I've got this lime green, and then I'm going to do a Kelly green, and then I'll come back over with some more lime green. My family is from Mississippi. We used to vacation there quite a bit. All right, so just bringing my grass up. There's no perfect science to this. But I do not miss the weather in the South. My family from Texas, some of them are coming up next week. And my mom called today to ask me what she should be packing. And I said, well, I'm in flip-flops and a short sleeve shirt today, but it's only, I think at the time it was only like 47 outside. And I said, but you might want to bring a light jacket. But I don't know anybody from the South that lives in the North now. I don't know if it's just me, but once I put flip-flops on for the year, I can't go back. Like, it can be raining and cold again, and I'm still going to be in flip-flops. Is that weird? It's probably weird. But to me, there's only two types of shoes. There's boots. Well, three types. Boots, tennis shoes, and flip-flops. Okay, let me show you what we've got. I think we're about done. All right, let me back up so you can see. I've got my grass on there. I've got my Easter eggs. I've got my bunny butt. And the only thing that we still need is a bow. So I hope that you all enjoyed painting with me today. And if you want to paint one of these, or I've got other things in my shop that you can paint as well. I've got the llama that I painted last week. He's in there. There's a cactus, all kinds of stuff. But you can order the blanks in my shop online. And you can also order the templates to cut yourself. So thank y'all so much for painting with me. Deidre, thank you so much. All right, loves. Let me give you a quick, because, okay, here's what's going to happen. Let me just tell y'all what's going to happen. I'm going to be, like, holding this and looking all funny, and that's what Facebook's going to pick as my thumbnail picture. Just saying. Just saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I want that thumbnail picture to be. It's going to pick the funkiest look on my face, and that's what it's going to go with. So, anyway, I hope that y'all enjoyed, and thank you so much for joining me. And I'm going to go outside and enjoy the beautiful weather now that my kiddos are coming home from school. So, see y'all later. Bye, guys.